My name is Plato, and the man whose picture you are looking at is a close friend of mine. He was one of the greatest thinkers the world has ever known, and more importantly, he taught me everything I know. He was a man who challenged the way people thought. He challenged the way children were raised, and most of all, he challenged the way of life here in Athens. I was present at his trial for his supposed crimes. However, I cannot comprehend why the great people of Athens saw him as a heretic. He simply stood for what was right in his mind. The man you are looking at is Socrates, and this is the story of his death, but more importantly, his life and all of the good that became of it.
Students, you must learn that the gods are not eternal, that there is more than the gods you hail and to the gods that you sacrifice to.
But Socrates, why must we question everything we've been taught?
Because, young ones, Zeus does not control the skies, nor Poseidon the oceans. The thought of an underworld that Hades controls is a feign for your imagination.
But Socrates, what of the other Olympians?
Young ones, the gods are but an illusion to keep you from misbehaving. Ares does not tell you when to go to war. War is caused by human conflict. Music is not a gift from Apollo, but it is a gift that has come from human innovation.
What are we to do about the government?
This concept of a democracy is a foolhardy attempt to control the people of Greece and put them under false fear of condemnation.
But what are we to do about this?
You're to simply live your lives as I live mine, showing people that the word extends beyond the common concepts of this so-called democracy and the divine ways of the gods. But there is another option. You could all live the way you want to separately, or you could live with your families in solitude away from Athens.
So are we to believe in the gods as we have all of our lives?
Well, that is for you to decide for yourselves. I cannot make that decision for you. I can only suggest that you not worship fictitious figures that were created to control you.
Indeed, Socrates taught in a most peculiar fashion, constantly questioning, bringing up curiosity, feigning interest in actual answers and supposed truths. Socrates did not detest open argument. Rather, he used it as a powerful tool of education.
Polymarchus, I ask you, this justice, what is your stance on it?
Well, Socrates, you leave me at a disadvantage. Though I do believe that justice serves what it owed, a good man knows that he will pay his debts.
Yes, perhaps. A good man pays his debts. Tell me this, Polymarchus. If a man asks for a sword and does not give it back, in his right mind, the first man returns the sword knowing full well that his friend may use the sword to harm others unjustly. Does the first man act justly, or does the second man act unjustly?
To that I must reply no.
But you yourself said that returning your debts and giving what is owed to what it is owed to is justice.
Well, let me clarify with more precision my stance on justice. Debts should be paid when they are owed to justice, but debts should only be used justly.
Indeed, my friends. But what if the intentions of the man whom the debts will be returned are burned or lied about? What then?
Nonsense. I'll tell you what justice is, wise man of Athens.
Meletus, I am the wisest man alive. For I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing.
Nothing indeed. As I was saying, justice is not what the ruler has subject doing to his own benefit. But that justice don't butt in, and don't butt in, Polemarchus. I want to hear it from this wise man of Athens. So, what say you?
But what, with all due respect, what if the orders given to the subject, directly or indirectly, harm the ruler or otherwise serve as a non-benefit? Wouldn't that nullify your definition of justice? Do you implore that rulers are beyond mistake that could spite them?
Ha! I knew it would come to this. I knew you would strive and confuse and belittle and be wrong and perplexed with your precision of speech. You seek no words. You seek only win petty squabbles such as this.
Indeed, you are half correct. Now say, before you make a monumental scene to none but us. It is true. I've never sought answers, and never will. The people of Greece have the inability to agree on such things as answers. You yourself, Meletus, have proven, thus, however, the destination of our petty squabbles is not the objective, and neither is the crowning of a winner. Curiosity, my good man, curiosity is what I seek to brew in the minds of all those, and I mean that is all. What they do with this curiosity I instill in them is of no business of mine.
You there, wise man. I hear you teach our youth of false concepts. You are now under arrest of the Athenian court.
What? False concepts? What is this blasphemy? Who sent you?
Socrates, I am the one who sent this man. I've argued with you just long enough for him to slip in before you can slip away.
You fool!
I like to think Socrates fought the good fight, but I am a man of ration, and his resist was foolish, for none would support him in court, and exile would be certain.
This is an outrage. What have you done with Socrates?
Socrates has fallen ill. I have his close friend, Thrasymachus. I will be representing him today in court.
The charges brought upon the man of Socrates and Meletus are as follows: treason and the impiety and corruption of the youth of Athens, as well as crimes against the government by teaching against it.
I would call such accusations false. It is not a man's right to be able to speak his mind, and it is not the free will of the people to follow it. And if persons think they should think that what the man believes in is correct for all.
Why is it, Meletus, that you bring such a charges against Socrates today?
Because I saw him teaching the children of Athens that the gods do not exist, and that our government is nothing to be a part of.
I do not think that it would be doing if the children, that they are being deceived by their people, they would be the first to have to believe me.
But you do not deny that you were saying things that could be considered treasonous.
I do not deny that those things were said, but I do deny that those things were an act of treason. Does not the government of this city say that citizens have the right to speak their mind? Is that the freedom of Athenian citizens? Wow, Socrates has arrived.
I feel much better now.
This is good. The fool should be able to represent himself.
Socrates to the stand to testify.
I will begin at the beginning and ask what the accusation is, which has given rise to this slander of me. What do the slanders say? Socrates, an evildoer, and a curious person who searches into things under the earth and in heaven. And he makes the worse appear in better cause, and he teaches the aforesaid doctrines to others. I found that the men most in repute were all but the most foolish, and that some inferior men were really wiser and better. O men of Athens, God is only wise. Wisdom of men is little to nothing. And so I go my way, obedient to God, make inquisitions into the wisdom of anyone, whether citizen or stranger who appears to be wise. And if he is not wise, then I show him that he is not wise. And this accusation quite absorbs me.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Socrates, the decision will now be made. Jury, you have what time you need to deliberate. Then you will individually vote upon whether Socrates is guilty or not guilty. Now go. The decision is yours entirely. Jury, what is the verdict and what is the vote count?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Socrates, guilty on all charges in a vote of 280 to 220.
Now what does the prosecution suggest as an even-handed punishment for the guilty party?
I believe that Socrates should be put to death by hemlock poison.
And what does the defendant suggest?
I say I should give 3 meals in the center of Athens for 1 mina of silver.
Ah! Okay. Jerry, you know what to do. And what is the vote this time?
Sir, the vote is 360 to 140.
And what is the verdict?
Death by the way of hemlock poisoning.
All right then, Socrates. I hereby condemn you to death by the drinking of poison hemlock. Court dismissed.
Although I was present at the trial, I simply could not bear to witness the death of my teacher. While half of Athens gathered in the cell to grieve early, I sat in the corner with my face covered.
There's a reason we're here today. Alright, give me that mallet. Just take that back. Now, alchemist, give me the poison.
You there! You have no reason to be distraught. Can you not see why this is wholly rational? Guards, get the woman out of here.
Alright, let's go. Don't need to see this.
Socrates, what are you doing?
I beg your pardon?
Get out of here. You can leave Athens behind and teach elsewhere. I know a man in Troy who can provide the necessary commodities.
Plato, after everything I've taught you, after everything you've learned from me about rationality, must you throw it out the window now that I must die?
Rationality? This is madness. Killing yourself will solve nothing.
And when have I ever sought to solve, Plato? You of all people should know that I have never seen answers as logical, not in Greece. I have lived to see many winters. I have questioned all which I see questionable. And what reason do I have to live?
But there are others away from Greece who would welcome your teachings.
Teachings do not die off with their creator, Plato. The scroll which you have marked upon shall keep my teachings. Now it is up to you to continue my thinking and spread of what I have said through the scroll and through the quill.
Socrates, if you really wish this, drink and end it now.
Plato, we owe a rooster to Cepheus. Don't forget to pay the debt.
After many somber hours, the gadfly of Athens was dead. Any thoughts or questions that may have remained in his mind were lost. Though, his legacy and teachings would live on through those he enlightened. For the following 10 years, I wrote on scroll after scroll to keep his beliefs alive. My work, titled The Republic, and works of others would go on to spread the curiosity that Socrates worked so hard to ruin the minds of all he faced.